Happy Monday, traders. It's 8 a.m. Chicago time on the 28th of September, 2020. Thanks for joining me today on episode number 1846, making our way to 1900 soon. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Very, very clear. This morning allocation is to risk. We're continuing Friday's rally up. We have pushed from Friday's low. We have pushed Friday's low is 32.16. If you recall, 32.17.75 was a key figure down below. And we are at 33.37. We're basically 120 points higher in just two sessions, or one session, 1 day session and one Globex session. We used to cover that in about a week, 2.5 weeks, or normally would cover that in about 2.5 weeks. Pretty strong. The DAX leading the pack. The DAX up pretty strong. There was change to Commerzbank, which is a large component of the DAX, causing the stock to shoot higher. DAX is up 409.5 points, 3.3%. The Euro stock's up 2.95%, and the Nasdaq's up 1.9% to 211 points. 211 points. The small caps are with us this time. The Russell's up 22.5 points, or 1.5%. The S&P up 47.5 points, or 1.44%. And then the Dow is up 375 points, or 1.39%. The laggard today is the dollar. The dollar's off 41.5 cents, trading at 94.26.5. The Bund is off 26 ticks. The U.S. Treasury bond is off only 7 ticks. And then the 10-year note's off 2 big ticks, 4 small ticks. So that's where we stand this morning. The calendar, because it's the beginning of the week, we want to pay attention to what is high impact for the week. This week, today we don't have very much. Tomorrow we do have a couple of numbers out of China. By the way, China is credited with some of this pop higher. New hopes of global economic recovery were supported by data showing continued growth in China's factory activity. There's always somebody somewhere who's going to attribute the price action to something. So take that with a grain of salt. Tomorrow we get MBS manufacturing PMI from China at 8 p.m. Chicago time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and Caixin manufacturing PMI at 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. Wednesday we get GDP growth out of Great Britain, GDP growth out of the U.S. Q on Q. This is the final figure. And then the Thursday, we're looking at personal spending, personal income in the U.S. And then Friday, we have consumer confidence out of Japan, and non-farm payrolls will be in October, the best month of the year by far. Non-farm payrolls at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. So that's where we stand. Let's switch gears and do a quick review as quick as possible. There are a few things to note. It is, again, beginning of the week, and there's some things we need to cover. Friday, because of the way we were set up right on top of this composite high volume node, and the overnight session put its high volume node down below, or the point of control down below Thursday, with Thursday being balanced, selling off like it did give us a weak high on Thursday. This led me to conclude that we are likely not done to the downside and likely to move back to this composite point of control. The composite point of control is from the 22nd of December 2019, and so the expectation is we're likely to push up to the prior point of control, push down, hold steady, and rally into the close. Naturally, that's not what happened. As I had indicated, The market had a completely different idea of what it wanted to do. This is a 6-tick Renko, just to keep the activity on one screen. You could see that we open up. We don't need the stock zones here. You could see that we open up in this pretty tight open auction. It's an open auction in range, in value, so the market is balanced, essentially opening. Still looking for the point of control to get tested. Point of control gets tested right here, but misses by a tick, comes all the way back through to the open, pushes back up, retests the point of control, misses by a tick, a double top, a local double top here, a local double top right here, and then we get this extension down. The extension down is actually pretty decent, 21 points, and that had me that was a clue to me that scenario one is done. Remember, scenario one was looking for a test of the prior point of control and a push down. That's what we were looking for there. And it just walked right up. It was like a solid wall down here, walks right up, pushes the weak high double top here, and extends up, and then extends the initial balance higher, and then from there it was just buy, 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 buy. Look at this delta. The delta just rocketing up on these strong moves. So the shorts were completely squeezed on Friday. And what we ended up doing on Friday that's of note is we did not really establish value. If you see what this profile shows, this profile showing a pretty aggressive price discovery process. I believe the intermediate bottom is in. I believe that the low we put in at what was it, 21.98 or so the day before, is pretty much in place. And what we did is we extended up multiples of the initial balance with a point of control near highs. And as those of you who followed for a while, when we have this kind of configuration with a point of control near highs, we have a high probability continuation higher when the session reopens, and we expect it to continue to push higher. And since we were up against 3,300, I was looking for 3317 as the next key area to test. That brings us into the full session. And the full session shows we open up, it's fairly quiet, but what we end up doing is putting in 3 distributions. So it's a triple distribution profile. We ended up we did manage to push to that 17 right here, paused a little bit, built a distribution just in between the two stock zones at 08 and 17, and then finally exploded upwards with the European market at 5 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Eastern, and we've been holding steady at the high. We have not given up the high at all. We are very, very close to this 33, 40, 50. This is a big area up here, 33, 40, 50. From the prior contract, used to be 33.51. This is the next big magnet. So what have we done in essence? Let's zoom out for a bit just so we know what the narrative is. What have we done? We have come down to this composite point of control, right? We've talked about this quite a bit, and we've just skipped into and below this composite point of control. We've tested quite a bit. We tested below it right here on Thursday, but overall the composite point of control held. We have a wide balance zone here, and then it just takes off. We get balance moving to imbalance. Overnight inventory is 100% long as a result from the fact that we did not test or trade below yesterday's close, and then we've moved from high volume node. So this is a high volume node, or this is CVPOC actually. Okay, and that was the target on the upside for Friday. It went to 96 and a quarter, and we held this 92 on the close. Yes, Friday's close was 87.50, and then we came back in and we traded right on top of this high volume node right here, moved right to the 3317, the low volume node right there. We moved right through it, consolidated, and then broke out. We never tested from the top, so there's a lot of strength here. And then we moved to the next high volume node. So low volume node, so high volume node, circle, let's use a circle, low volume node, high volume node, low volume node, high volume node, low volume node, high volume node. So we're likely to continue to push into 3340 here before we rest. We may extend out to 52 or so for the session, but this is, from an auction perspective, this has not come back and pulled back to those areas. You know, consolidate at the high volume node like we did here, push up, pull back, test, move higher to the low volume node, push up, pull back to the low volume node, no trading, move up to the high volume node, and so on and so forth. So I expect a little bit of a pullback with the overnight inventory being all long, 100% long. I expect a little bit of selling coming in, a little profit taking. The volume in the overnight session is pretty decent, 233. It's not outstanding. It's not like unusual. The point of control in the overnight session is near high. So all it has to do to give us a squeeze lower is clear below this 33.22 area, this area right here to there. As soon as it clears this area, then we are likely to move back into balance here and consolidate on top of the next key test area, 3308. That's the rundown. Delta's with us, right? Delta's with price. Delta's with price here. So overall, that's what the overall picture is showing. Now I want to take you to the composite because we want to keep an eye on the big picture. We've had a new all-time high. We sold off, extending on the weekly, extending the high and the low, engulfing basically an entire week. Each one of these boxes is a week. This is a week, this is a week, this is a week on the RTH. And then we could see that on the weekly, we had a lower high, lower low right here. And then we, oddly enough, had a higher high, lower low. Remember when we took out that double bottom at 14, pushed to 19.5 and failed. This was expected to be a push back higher into this area up here, 35.50. It did not work. And then what we did is we put in a lower high, lower low last week. Thing to note about this in a way, and maybe this is just me looking for what's going on here. Me looking for digging in for information, but I watch the delta on these swings quite often, and I want to see what is likely to take place. Am I dropping frames here? I don't know what's going on here. IRT is just going crazy. I'm just waiting for this thing to give me some control back. I don't know how people trade on a laptop. This laptop is high powered and it just cannot keep up. They don't, for the same CPU and video card, you don't get the same quality computer. So this thing, this thing is doing something weird here. Let me see what process is in control. Might have to kill bookmap. Bit of a hog. Yeah, it just keeps blinking out. I don't know what to tell you here. It doesn't look so good. Um, it just keeps blinking in and out. And maybe it's because the zigzag here is computing so many waves. I need to cut it back. But as of right now, it doesn't look like I have any control over my charts here. Yeah, I've got a lot going on this PC. It's running at 85, 87% on an i7 10,000 CPU. So not a not a good not a good thing. Okay, well, I've lost my charts. So this is one of the worst things that could happen on air. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to cut this out right now. I'm going to post. I'm going to have to post on Twitter. And the cat has something to say now, too. So there you have it. It's awesome. I've got everything going on here. Just, it's fun to be me. All right. Well, I'm going to cut out now and post on Twitter. You can find it on twitter.com/futures trader 71. No, there's plenty of RAM. This computer has 64 gigs of RAM. Um, anyway, I'm going to cut out. I'm going to post the charts on Twitter, twitter.com/futures trader 71. And Convergent members, you'll see it in the Head Trader channel. The Head Trader channel, and we'll go from there. There's no sense in you watching my screen blink here back and forth. So I don't know what I did, and it's just glitched the hell out of this computer. I'll let you go, get back to what you need to do, and unfortunately, there's not much I can do about this. Take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Look for a link on Twitter or an image on Twitter for what we're looking for this morning. Good luck. Guess what? Did I lose a bunch of you? I got it back. Now that everybody left. If you want to stick around, that's great. If not, you can run off. It's cool. But I got my charts back. I think this indicator was going way back to 2015. It just needed a whole lot to connect. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this. We lost a bunch of people. Lost about 200, 300, 200 people, I think. Anyway, here's what I noticed. Strong delta at the high for this swing, this run up. Then we have a pretty decent delta on the drop, 31,000, negative 31,000. Then we have a push higher on negative delta. That's delta divergence there. Then we have a lower push on lower delta. Then we push higher on even more negative delta, just selling, 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 selling on this run up. And then we end up taking this swing down on the highest delta to date from the all-time high, 63,000 negative. And then look at what happens. All of a sudden, we get these strong deltas moving up, 24,000. We get this weak delta moving down, and we get this very strong delta moving up as of the swing between Thursday and Friday. So I don't want to read too much into it, but it's telling me that on the way down, the delta, negative delta was rising, and the positive rotations had negative delta in them. Now, as we swing up, positive delta is rising and really strong positive delta. This is likely to move right back into that 33, 60, 75 area. We have 40 first, but 60, 75 is very, very likely to be tested at least tomorrow, today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, Tuesday, more volatile day than Monday. But overall, we have one-time framing down on the weekly, you can see these boxes moving lower highs, lower lows, but mainly lower lows. And we are about to breach, for the first time since up here, we're about to breach the weekly one-time frame high, one-time frame down high, which is 33.1250. So this is definitely reversing. We're breaking the one-time framing down to the positive side. So this is an important fact. Let's move into what's expected for today, built on the context. Remember, it's not just context that we're after, right? At the end of the day, we still have to trade some sort of idea. One second. We have to trade some sort of a setup. So here's what we're looking for this morning. Apologize, this took so long. We lost about 4 minutes to the glitch. Like someone said, the glitch in the matrix. This morning, open auction, we're right up against the overnight point of control. Open auction, we're likely to push this this overnight high and get into 33.40. We're likely to squeeze above 33.40, looking for responsive selling and a hold here early. Remember, I have the range squished pretty quite a bit. But if we break through this area, this 26 area, we are likely to test into the 33 12 14 full session mid and VWAP and hold steady here. So I'm looking for sort of a balanced market on top of the 33.40. This area here is important, and I'm looking for it to hold the 33.17, retest the 33.17 from above and hold, and that sets us up to show that sellers were just not able to take prices below, and it sets us up for a rotation up to 33.60 for tomorrow. Okay, secondary is an open that pushes down, squeezes into the low volume node overnight, pushes into the VWAP and mid, consolidates. We get a burst upwards, an impulse up, takes out the overnight high, sits here at the 41, and then starts to push and get us into the 33.61. This is a bullish and strong with the impulse, a strong push higher. I do not expect a trend day to follow a trend day. Friday's trend day, we have trended overnight. We do have a gap, and I expect this to hold a gap zone above. Remember, we have now taken out the weekly high, the one-time framing high. So we expect some support here. That's the key figure. There is a third scenario because there is a gap here, but I'll let you guys come up with that. This has gone on long. Thanks for sticking in there, and sorry about the glitch there. I'll post this online. Take care, everyone.